All right, welcome to Ring Takes, episode 132. Here we're going to be going over John Cena's swan song, his last match, his career coming to an end. We're going to discuss that and the backlash towards that from many wrestling fans, as well as taking a look at Saturday night's main event and the rest of the card, building towards the future on this card, as well as taking a look at Monday Night Raw and the masked man being revealed. Stay tuned.
One, two, oh my gosh, so close. He kicked out. He kicked out. He kicked.
And yes, welcome to Ring Takes, episode 132. Of course, always with Brian and Lewis. I'm Daniel. A big monumental show happened this past weekend with John Cena's last match coming to a close there at Saturday night's main event. I couldn't believe the ending, even though I figured that he would lose on his way out. But what did you guys think of John Cena's last match? Basically tapping out to Gunther.
You know, it's kind of taken me, a couple of days to actually come up with an opinion on everything, because I've kind of being on social media, you've kind of seen and heard everything as far as how people feel about this. You got some old school people feeling that that he kind of went against everything his character stood for by tapping out in that manner. You got some old school people even going as far as to say that time-honored tradition that Sonny described a couple of weeks ago on the show, and the time-honored tradition of somebody losing on their way out. Some people are even claiming that it's archaic and it's outdated now. I mean, you've heard all types of things, but when I look at what happened, I don't understand all of the negative outrage towards it, because I had initially I don't know if I put it in the chat or if I said it on the show, or maybe I said it out loud. I even speculated to one saying, if this might be a time where John Cena might tap out, because in a way, when he taps out, I mean that character has closure, or that character kind of dies, because it has been built on on not giving up for the last 20 years. But the one thing that I noticed from it, and I think I mentioned it in the chat right after it happened, I said, did you guys see his face, right before he tapped out? That smile, and that smile to me kind of cemented everything. I kind of understood what he was doing. I mean, people forget, man, he fought like hell to get out of that sleeper hold. I mean, it went through like two whole sequences where it really did seem like he was gonna pass out, and he fought out. And then by the time we got to the third time, it was almost like he was telling everybody that he had fought enough up until this point, and that there was nothing more to give, and he was at peace with tapping out essentially. And I was scrolling through my phone beforehand, and I came across a clip from the CVV interview he did, and he did talk about wanting to go out his way, and that there was a specific way that he wanted to go out, because he wanted to give back. And we're going to talk about Gunther's promo on Monday Night Raw, but in my opinion, based on that promo, I think they set out and they accomplished what they set out to do, because now Gunther is a monster heel. Even before the promo, you got clips on social media of him getting harassed on the streets, walking to his bus or going to his car. So the man has nuclear heat now. So I think it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. The match itself before the tap out, again, it's another one of these John Cena matches where he's literally giving everything that he has left and putting on an entertaining match. I mean, there were instances where you did think he would come out on top, but the match itself was very good. Again, I mean, I somewhat understand the outrage, but based upon John Cena's the smile and everything. From a psychological standpoint, I mean, I just don't understand how that flew over people's head. It's just I get the outrage, but at the same time, if this is the way that he wanted to go out and this was his way of giving back, then I don't think, if he didn't have a problem with that, any of us should have. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, similar to Brian. I mean, I can give you guys my honest initial reaction, which was, this sucks.
Yeah.
But I think I think it's a culmination of multiple things. Obviously, I think my reaction was obviously like, one, this is not what I'm used to seeing from Cena.
Yeah.
Two, this is the end and this is what we're getting. And then three, just that, again, maybe I just wanted more. Maybe it's just the selfish, fan in me that, again, has seen the Super Cena, yes, I've seen him lose plenty of times. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I'm the giant John Cena fan, but at the same time, for this, I think I was expecting, I don't know, not even a surprise, because I think even after talking with Sonny, I was just like, I understood. I was like, it probably isn't going to be him losing, but maybe it was in the fashion that he lost. I was talking to some people right as it happened, like, it would have been better if he would just passed out. But seeing that smile and then taking some time, it all makes sense. And I think I have to separate the selfish from the reality. My personal feeling towards it from the actual, what the man has done, what his whole career is, what his character is, and just like, like Brian said, after, thinking, like, it does make sense. Him actually giving up, him saying, this is it. I got And I even saw, as soon as he sat up, he's like, that's all I got. And I forget who else. There was somebody else online. There was like, this man, it might have been Sam Roberts. I think he was just like, this man, like, no, I think it was Matt Hardy who wrote it. That's what it was. It was just like, his body just can't take it anymore. If the run that he's had,
ironically, Matt Hardy saying that.
he wrote it on a post.
It's
just like, there's only, he's given everything, and even the Chris Van Vliet, he's just like, I'm ready to live life. I'm ready to just see what life looks like without this. Yes, he hasn't had a full schedule in years, but it's just like, it's still matches, traveling, everything. It's like, it's a new beginning for him, and he's just like, let me give. And like Brian said, he did exactly what he had to do, which was to give Gunther this monster push, which we've known is going to happen, but this was probably the best setup for him. This is like how you get to that Brock Lesnar, like, heel level main event, monster status. So yeah, I'm at peace with it. But I will say, when I first watched it, I was like, this is bullshit. This is fucking I had to sit and actually process it. And again, I'm at peace with it.
Okay, all right, Daniel, before you go, I just wanted to ask you, like, so, like, when he got after fighting through the sleeper hold the first two times and then getting down to the final time, did you ever get a sense that he might get the tap out?
Once I saw the smile, something told me. I was like,
yeah,
he's not smiling because he's about to like, I'm gonna get out. He's smiling because you're about to be mad. And I was like, oh, you did that.
I think I share the same shock as the crowd initially. It was dead silent. Like, no one believed it. Like, they were like, that's it. Like, that was my initial reaction, because it was just like a little.
Yeah.
Like, I'm expecting John Cena to just be like fighting there tooth and nail, and then like he passes out at the end or something like that. That's what I initially expected. But then as the course of the match, I'm like, he has been fighting out of his move for quite a while, and he can't go anywhere. Like, I understand that, why he just like tapped like that. The smile might have been a little too much for me. I would have rather seen John Cena a little bit more disappointed. Like, shit, like I can't do it. Like that's the first time he's gonna be like, I can't get out of this. I can't do it. So to see it from that perspective, it was just like shocking. And I thought the match overall was pretty good. I will say this: my only gripe with the match is I hate in these matches where it's kind of like the old Yeller versus the guy that's in his prime and stuff like that, where he keeps knocking him down and then he keeps telling the ref, ask him if he quits. Like, no, you're gonna have to make him quit. Like, I remember they did that with Triple H and the Undertaker, and I'm like, this is going on way too long. We don't need this.
I know, and isn't that like last man standing rules? Like that's what, or I quit match. Like,
yeah, that's not what this match is, right? Yeah. Like, you have to pin him or submit him. Like, that's how it's gonna end. I hate that part of it, but overall, I thought the match had good storytelling in it. Gunther just wearing down Cena over the course of the match, and Cena trying to find ways to like hulk up and get those moments of offense in against Gunther. I thought it was a great storytelling. In terms of the ending, I thought it was a little flat because it was just like I expect John Cena to just be out swinging or like have the Austin WrestleMania 13 moment where he just passes out and Gunther just like wins by like he's not responding. And I thought we were going to get close to that, but it didn't happen in that manner, and that's okay. And I felt like towards the end, I felt like it was John Cena's call on when it was going to end. I felt like that was something that might have caught people off guard, where I felt like John Cena was like, all right, this is where the match is going to end. Like, this is the moment where it's going to end. After that, the backlash is something that I wanted to touch base on. The incredible backlash after this match in terms of all the wrestlers coming out, especially when Triple H came out. We saw some stuff afterwards, but what did you guys think about the initial reaction? Of course, the shock of the crowd, the hatred towards Triple H, even in the press conference. Like, what did you guys make of those two situations? One, the shock of the crowd, and then Triple H's backlash.
Yeah, see, that's something else I was thinking about, because it's like, I wonder if that backlash more for what happened in the match with John Cena and Gunther, or was that more of John's entire run this year, or just the booking of this year in totality? It's one of the three. I think to have that negative reaction that Triple H got. I mean, remember, this was a guy that about a year or so ago, I mean, a couple of years ago, when Vince McMahon stepped down and he stepped in. I mean, this is a guy whose whole government name was being chanted at the WWE Hall of Fame because everybody had just loved everything that he was doing. I mean, Triple H was that guy. He was the man. And now here we are in 2025, and now everybody's looking down on the booking. I mean, we've been talking about the booking all year long. There's been a lot of mistakes. We talked about just John Cena's heel run alone was very underwhelming. Other superstars that we wanted to be pushed haven't been pushed. I mean, the creative has been very lackluster this year. So I wonder if the frustration was just a combination of all of that. But even if that is the case, I looked at it and I just said, all this booing and chanting AEW, that's not going to change their creative direction. We know that, right? Change their creative direction is if you guys stop buying tickets, stop buying merchandise, and they start losing money in that way. If you're gonna bitch and complain, but then the next time they come to DC, 90% of you guys are buying tickets and going to the show, they got your money, so you're already lost. They're gonna keep doing that. Like, at the end of the day, you take money out of their pockets, don't make a change. But if you're just gonna chant and be negative on social media, that's not gonna do anything, guys. I mean,
that's helping them stay relevant. The more you talk about them, even as negatively or positively. So, definitely something to think about. And I think that's something with just always being a consumer in this generation. Like, when people Netflix price hikes, it's like you're not going to stop watching Netflix. You know what I mean? As many times as they raise the prices on Netflix and tell you, hey, you can only have these many restrictions, X, Y, Z, people still watch Netflix at an alarming rate. Like, I don't think that's going to stop. As for the backlash towards Triple H, I think there's many things, and I think what you touched on was saying this whole run for it to end like that in that manner. I think it was just an accumulation of everything being brought together, and then just being disappointed because we wanted to see Cena keep fighting and stuff like that, and that's the ending that we get with him smiling and tapping out. And then it's just like, okay, then you can kind of like, as Lewis said, you guys digested it after the fact and kind of understood where the booking was going. That moment was just a lightning bolt for everybody looking at the entire year. because from the whole year in this booking, we've complained about the heel turn. I've been complaining about The Rock and Travis Scott majority of the time, especially early on in March, April, May. Like, where is this guy? Like, where is he? I don't care what he's doing. There's ways to implement him in this storyline, even in little ways just to carry it a little bit. And they kind of didn't do that. And they kind of went away from that. And I don't understand that from any standpoint. But overall, it's just like this backlash towards Triple H is just at an all-time high. And he was smiling in the ring when he hugged Cena like, yeah, they're going to hate me for this. Go ahead, Lewis.
I think this is also just the relationship with WWE in general. Like, how many times have we been in these type of moments where like, what the hell are they doing? What is this? What is that? I mean, I can think back to, and I think I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm like, look at the Undertaker's WrestleMania like loss. Mm-hmm. Like how many people were like, how could you have him lose to Brock? Blah blah blah. You know, that should have been something that should have never been touched. And and it happened, you know, and people were pissed and people were, you know, but again, you're still that's just wrestling in general. We're gonna be pissed, but then we're also gonna have the super highs like Cody winning the title or you know, things like that. So it's just the story. But to the backlash, I think Dan, you're right. Like I think it's definitely just a whole year. Part of me also thinks of like, would it be the same if we just never had that heel turn? Because I think it was something people wanted. One, we didn't think it was going to happen. Two, it did happen, and it was just
the worst. It was like if Hulk Hogan came and joined the NWO, and it was just the worst.
And it was just him and no explanation. And by like the end, it was just like, hey, I'm gonna be good again.
Yeah, I think people expected that was going to be a short term, but then the non-inclusion of The Rock and the non-inclusion of Travis Scott and the non-inclusion, it's mainly The Rock for me, because I felt like that was such a driving point. Even if he didn't get in the ring, I thought he was at least going to be an authority figure, kind of like a Vince, kind of like leading the charge of the story. Like, yo, I'm literally the final boss. This is what I've been building.
We thought out of anything there should have been a story with it. Like you're literally having this guy, you know, end on his own terms and have this run, and then you do the one thing that he hasn't done his entire career, or hasn't done recently in his entire career, and you just don't. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. You know, there were just too many things. You know, Rock put up here, pointing fingers up, people trying to figure it out, and then just to have nothing come out of it was so frustrating. And
it wasted 6 months.
I knew he wasn't going to.
That's the thing. It wasted 6 months.
Yeah, and then Travis Scott just didn't make any sense whatsoever. And if anything, probably messed up shit more by fucking up Cody and giving him a black eye. You know? So I think it was definitely a lot of frustration because, one, we got this heel turn when, honestly, if it never happened, it probably would have been a better sentiment because he would have just have had clear clashes with all his old foes and not just be like, you're this, you're that. Like, oh, who's the Cena? I don't know who this is. And it's just like, it doesn't even feel authentic at this point. You know, like I was not a fan of the whole relationship. Yes, it makes sense, but it just doesn't work for me, you know? And I think all that frustration is just like to then end like that. I think if we would have had a clear babyface run, him just going through all his, you know,
old foes,
and then get that ending, I think people would have been okay with it. But there was just too much
fluff.
It's anticlimactic.
Yeah, and then when you add in the fact, I think Daniel, you expressed frustration with this too. And then when you add in the fact that initially that this run was supposed to be a full year, but they only gave him 36 dates on top of that. Think about it. If you had the full year, maybe you could have told that story of the heel turn a lot better with the additional dates. Like that's also very frustrating when that was revealed.
And my thing is that if you had the full schedule, you wouldn't have even needed The Rock. for longer,
At all.
right?
At
Like you
all.
could have you wouldn't have needed him. Maybe I said from the beginning, maybe John Cena could have been the leader of the Vision, or at least had a faction around him, like a bunch of guys. Like, hey, these are my lackeys. These are the guys that believe
That's
in me.
who you could bring up.
Yeah.
Elevate, you know,
and that probably would have paid off better in the end. But the fact that it just didn't have that, from Elimination Chamber to SummerSlam, it was like, what the fuck? That's the problem. That's the problem right there. And I think, and I'm just looking, I know a lot of stuff was done on the fly and we're not in those positions, but it's like, you guys, this is the best you guys can come up with in terms of storytelling or creation, or I don't even like, he fought CM Punk and Randy right after that, right? And it's just like, okay, those were supposed to be monumental moments, and it was just a bunch of like.
But the matches were good though. I would not doubt that the wrestling was not the wrestling. I thought Cena was actually performing at a very elite levels during these matches. It's just
I don't know.
It didn't make sense why these things got just blown through so fast, and that was just a big head scratcher. It's like, who is left? What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I just felt like it was WCW 2000. That's what I felt like when Cena, all the interference, all the people running in, the storyline's not really making sense, and it was just like, okay, everything was right at SummerSlam, right? Like that match with Cody was good. It was like, okay, he lost the championship. Okay, all right, whatever. And then after that, to follow it up with him just getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar, it was like, do we need this? And then no follow up on that. He just gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's a reintroduction to Brock Lesnar. I guess he benefits from that. I guess Dominic Mysterio benefits from that. He spoke about that on Raw, basically, being one of the final people to beat John Cena. But it's just like, it's just an underwhelming run when it shouldn't have been. It should have been better than this. I think that's the overall sentiment. The match with Gunther is fine. And we didn't even talk about Gunther. Basically getting heckled all the way to his bus after that main event. And this is the thing, I'm going to say it again, because we saw this with Rhea Ripley, I think when they went to England or whatever the case may be. Where is security for these guys walking the streets? It looked like he walked 3 blocks to the bus. Like anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. Like I don't know.
Here's the thing. Realistically, there was a bunch of heckling, but who in their right mind is going to step to Gunther?
Hey, it only takes one idiot.
People are emotional and do crazy
things. That's the thing.
When
Rhea Ripley, I mean, those are just grown ass men who can't control their hormones, and then you know how sometimes some men be thinking with women they can get away with whatever. You ain't gonna do that shit to Gunther. He's not that guy. This guy's from Austria. He'll fuck you up.
That's my last thing on that. Like, where was the security during that? They show the clip of him walking to the bus, and it's like 3 blocks, and I'm like, okay, like anything could have happened. But as for Gunther, I think what this does, we're gonna get into his promo a little later, but I think what this does for Gunther is set him up as that main event level heel again. After tapping out to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, after dropping the belt to CM Punk at SummerSlam, and kind of reestablishing himself as that guy to be in that tier. So I thought that was good for him going forward. But we'll see how he followed it up in a minute. But let's keep talking about Saturday night's main event, which had, obviously, there was rumors of John Cena basically being the opening match, and that was out there for a little while, and everybody was like, no, we don't want that. But the first match of the night for the Saturday night's main event was Oba Femi and Cody clashing. NXT champion Oba Femi came up after winning the title back from Ricky Saints at NXT Deadline to take on Cody Rhodes, who has kind of been in this blood feud with Drew McIntyre. But Oba Femi making his appearance making his debut on the main roster. What did you guys think about his performance in this matchup? Because I've been getting mixed results, but I want to hear what you guys say.
Really?
Yes.
I thought Oba Femi looked right at home. I thought he looked great. maybe. I mean, maybe probably a little nervous to be on a bigger stage like that,
Mhm.
and with Cody in that. But to me, he looked like he was on point. He looked strong. He looked like just a dominant force, like the next big thing. Like that's he looks like someone who's ready to clash with the Bronze, the Brocks, the Drews. Him standing next to Drew, you're like almost makes Drew look kind of small. So
I'm gonna be well, hold on, sorry to cut you off, Lou. Gonna bring in Sonny here. Hey, welcome, Sonny. We're talking about
Hello,
Saturday night's
everybody.
main event at the moment. Let me move some stuff around here. Yeah, we're talking about Oba Femi facing Cody Rhodes. So welcome to the episode, Sonny. I'll get into your introduction in a minute. Lewis, finish your thought here.
Yeah, no, for me, Oba Femi looked great. I thought like I said, he just looked dominating. Putting in that work on Cody. So, I mean, glad that they protected him in the sense with Drew coming out a little. I don't know. I didn't really see why we're still visiting this whole Drew Cody thing again, just for him to keep losing. But I thought Oba Femi looked great.
But before we get into the other things, welcome to the show, Sonny, the Man Eagle Cain. Recently just did a podcast on the Wrestling Pedigree podcast with Maddie Hawkins there across the pond. So check that out, the Pedigree podcast. Check that out on YouTube. It's a great listen. Welcome, Sonny.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I had Wrestling Spotlight before you. It ran long.
It happens. But what did you think about Oba Femi going up against Cody Rhodes there?
I liked it. I didn't think it was going to be the match that it turned out to be. It turned out to be hard hitting, and I like that. I for sure think they'll meet each other again. I don't think that's the end of the storyline by no means, and I think Cody may have bitten off just a little more than he can see.
It looked like it.
Quick update on Cody. He was arrested yesterday, presumably for fighting Drew McIntyre in a public area, and people don't know yet. At the time I caught this, people didn't know if it was a real life thing or if it was part of the storyline. So that came out on Facebook, and they were still checking into it to see what was what in terms of the realness of it. But they both got arrested for a little while anyway yesterday.
Not a good look for the WWE champion.
And they were in jail last night, the both of them. So still waiting to sort that out. So.
Yeah, but so to echo Lewis's sentiments, why are we still continuing with this Drew and Cody story? I mean, this is a story that should have ended after the nonsense at WrestlePalooza. I mean, we've seen how when they decided not to put the title on Drew right then and there, then there was no reason to continue forward with this story. And they're trying to make it more personal. Having them attack each other in each other's vehicles, each other's buses. Now you got this little cinematic thing that Sonny just mentioned of Cody invading Drew's home with Nick Aldis. I mean, they're trying to make this. They're trying to make this seem like it's Drew and CM Punk, and it's just not. And it's just not that. And at the end of the day, again, Drew McIntyre, what was the stat? What was it? 0 something in his last
11.
Like, again, that stat's always gonna stick out in my mind. I mean, we put Drew in these situations time and time again. It was WrestleMania right around the corner in the Rumble. Who really expects Cody to drop the title? So why are we even continuing this story just for Drew to catch another L? I mean, unless the plan is to finally put the title on Drew, I mean, that's the only reason why you should be continuing this. But again, with Mania around the corner, I would think that they would want Cody going into Mania still as the champion. So why are we even continuing this? And that's why I felt like, Oba Femi, I know they don't want the quarterback, catching a loss on Saturday night's main event clean. I get all of that, but if Oba Femi is supposed to be your future and you're trying to tell the story with Drew, and you're trying to make things more personal, why not just have Drew cost Cody the match and elevate Oba Femi in the process? I mean, if it's in storyline, if it was within storyline, I think, and then it should be acceptable for Cody to take a loss because again, you're trying to make this Cody and Drew story personal. So then you could have done it that way, and then have Oba Femi come out on top as a winner because. He within that 10 minutes that he was, or 8 minutes, or however long the match was, he was dominant. He definitely showed that he should be on the main roster soon. He's definitely going to be somebody in the future that we're all going to be looking at as a future WrestleMania main eventer, looking for him to be bigger feuds with bigger talent. So why not just go with him in that direction?
And then I've been hearing people saying they didn't like Oba Femi coming up there, and I'm like, how? This guy's presence alone. I've been talking to a couple people, and they're like, we didn't like his presence. They didn't like him. I'm like, everything was powerful in the ring. Everything looked graceful. He didn't look out of place. Like he fit perfectly. Like he can easily be a big monster heel on the main roster easily.
It looked like they'd gone somewhere and rehearsed a time or two even. I mean, it ran that smooth, I thought. It was not the squash match I thought it would be by no means.
Yeah, and for the 10 minutes that they had out there, I'm like, this was a pretty good, easy story to tell of Big Monster versus this white meat baby face going up against Oba Femi, like this big, huge challenger. And I thought he had a pretty good showing. The whole DQ finish, I felt like that was going to be the way they were going to go. To protect everyone involved. I would have rather, as Brian suggested, that they actually gave Oba Femi the win. Maybe Cody hits the crossroads or something like that. The ref gets taken out, and then just have Drew hit him with a Claymore, and then have Oba Femi pin him, like something like that. I thought it was interesting that they did show Oba Femi in a babyface light pushing Drew, but I felt like it was interesting because it was more of a prideful thing. Like, yo, I don't need anybody's help. Like, I'm a standing man on my own. So I did like that whole interaction between him and Drew because it's like, okay, it gave Oba Femi a little bit more of a respectable view of his character. And I'm glad that Drew sold for him at that point. Like, they're not buddies in here. Like, it is a problem.
Maybe this will lead to a triple threat. Who knows?
Something.
And in reality, guys, they're not. I mean, you have no friends in wrestling. I'm sure y'all may have heard this said. You just don't. I mean, you got guys going for the same thing, to be the biggest paycheck givable, and you don't have any friends in the ring. So, I mean, brothers against brothers and sons against fathers. I mean, it's gone on for years that way, and everyone wants to be the star. So,
yeah, and I think that's the way they should be booking it, right? Like Drew has been chasing that title for a while. Oba Femi's trying to make a name for himself.
I'd like to see him get some W's.
Yeah, like it's just like you see these guys here just wanting it all, and that's pretty much for the title, but. Some people were just saying some things about Oba Femi. I'm like, some people were saying that he's not better than Trick Williams. And
okay, there was one specific person that said that, and that specific person shouldn't even be speaking about NXT anymore. If he's making that comparison,
I just don't understand it. But I thought Oba Femi was great, and I think he's going to be great coming up to the main roster, hopefully soon. He still has the NXT title, so we'll see. I didn't get a chance to check out NXT tonight, but. We'll see what happens up following that. But I thought it was a great show. Let's keep moving on here to Sol Ruca overcoming Bayley in that match. Basically a showcase for the up-and-comer there. Basically being handpicked up there to have that match on Saturday night's main event against Bayley. An impressive showing. But what did you guys think about that matchup, and especially the debut for Sol Ruca?
I like it. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just saying that. My opinion is going to be very brief on this. I mean, it was a great showing for. I mean, this was all about about NXT kind of showing out against the old guard and Sol Ruca is exactly. You can see now why they selected her in that spot. I mean, she's so unique. She's homegrown. With the gymnastics background to compile all that into the professional wrestler that she's become. She just gets better. She just gets better and better. Has one of the best finishes in WWE right now with Soul Snatcher, and she's gonna be another one where kind of similar to Oba Oba Femi. You know, when she gets to the main roster, you know, she's so unique as a talent, and you know, she has that unique gimmick, which is really based upon how she grew up, and and she really just herself just turned up, and that's where how the best characters are. So, great match, great showing, and you know, she's, like I said, she's going to definitely be somebody to look forward to in the future.
You can go ahead, Sonny.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'll say what some in the WWE universe are probably scratching their heads and asking themselves currently, and all with me. Surely I'm not the only one asking this question. What is WWE doing with Bayley? You've got somebody that wants to be a main eventer. You've got somebody that's trying to go through the numbers and get there on their own and by herself, and they just keep giving her the L's. I don't understand it. I do understand why she got it the night she got it on, by putting the up-and-comer over. I'm not as opposed to that as I thought I might have been once I digested it after watching the show. But to have Bayley lose as often as she's losing, I can see her frustration. I don't think her frustration's that much of a put-on now as I did earlier in the year when she began having these episodes, these breakout episodes of her personality split. It will drive you bananas. You go out there and you lose and you lose. I have been that person, y'all. And I didn't start on an uphill climb until about 95 after I'd been in the business 3 stinking years. I'd get a win here, there, and yonder, but it wasn't a continual every now and then. It was like just occasional. And I got a win, and I got some W's on some well-known guys, but still, you want more W's. That's what it's about. You want to brand yourself as a serious competitor. And I say this to the WWE board: if you're not going to use her on the main roster, put her in NXT, let her become a star there, and let her build her way back to being on the main roster. Don't just keep stepping on somebody. And that's my frustration with the Bayley story at this point in time.
I think I've been saying this for a long time. I think Bayley's great. And I think some people have said she's too nice behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I think that she's just a giver in that regard in terms of helping the talent overall out. In terms of this, again, kind of agreeing with you, Sonny, in terms of her helping up a newcomer, right? In terms of how the match went. It wasn't as clear as just Soul hitting her finisher. She actually tried to get a schoolboy pin and didn't work. And then Soul ended up getting the win back. So there was a little back and forth there and a little storytelling there, but I do understand what you're saying in terms of just them continuously having her lose. And I don't think she's at that point in her career where I don't think so, where she's just a enhancement talent in terms. I don't think it's to that point. I hope not. But as for the match, I thought it was a great showcase for Sol Ruca. Bayley's a good hand in the ring. Of course, that's somebody that you can always just put somebody up against and have a good match. So I thought the match was great, and I thought I wasn't mad at Sol getting the win there, but I do understand what you're saying with Bayley because it feels like she's just talent.
And her smile is just so radiant. It's kind of similar to the Rock's in that way. I mean, when she smiles, she's one of these people who light up a room. And I can understand why they keep stepping on that. I mean, you want people happy to be there. I would think that and I promoted and co-promoted a couple matches. I always look for guys, men and women who would come in. Hey, what can I do? How can I help? This, that, and the other, yada yada yada. And then you get guys who come in and just say, "Well, it's another day." Well, you don't want those guys. You want the guys that are willing to go the extra mile. At least that's what I look for when I was helping people book a little bit. And to just step on her week after week, it's got to be a real life letdown down to her emotionally, I would think. So.
All right, yeah. All right, so Lewis, before you go, just kind of add to what Sonny is saying. I definitely agree that Bayley has been very underappreciated over the years. Like, you'll never hear a story coming out about Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch's match getting cut at WrestleMania, And
Never.
you'll just never hear it. And
Never ever.
you look at those four horsewomen added in Mercedes, and she's always been the underappreciated out of the four. I mean, they always looked at those three as kind of like the
standard barrier.
the bearers of the women's division of the women's revolution.
I don't.
It's almost like they just looked at it as a big three, and then Bailey was just there with the way it looked. And then because the fans love the Bailey, kind of loved the whole hugger gimmick in NXT. They tried it on the main roster for a little while. I think it's kind of the fans that kind of made them look at Bailey and say, okay, in our mind, she's not on the level of these three, but she still is a superstar. And I almost wonder if they still think of her in that manner. Like, it shouldn't be that way, because at this point in time, she has all the experience, being in all these matches. By this point in time, Bailey needs to be looked upon as a top star. But like Sonny said, it definitely hasn't been treated as such.
I just looked it up. I remember at WrestleMania 33, she defeated Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and Nia Jax in that fatal four-way for the Raw Women's title. And it was like, if you're looking at her now, you would forget that she had those moments, those big-time moments on the main stage. The way they're
those L's are outweighing the W's by far now.
Yeah.
They need to tighten that rope a little bit.
And not in a Chelsea Green type of way.
Yeah. No, I've always been a huge Bailey fan, and I was even talking to my girlfriend. I was like she had one of the greatest matches in NXT history. I still remember that NXT match that she had with her and Sasha, and I think what Dan said is right. I would like sitting here now thinking, I was like, she's had great title runs. She's had plenty of title runs. I loved when she had the run where she was women's champ and tag champ with Sasha. Like, that was just
during the pandemic. That was holding the pandemic.
They were
the women's division that whole time. Just those two together dominating. Yeah, exactly.
They were a huge staple in that, and that was a great storyline. But I think I was expecting a little more from this whole personality split thing, because they were doing the video packages and stuff, and then I don't know what it is with the storytelling right now, where it's like we get hints of these things and it just isn't followed up on, or it's just like subtly mentioned. We had it with the whole Grayson Waller Austin Theory thing. This is another story right now where it's like, you had these video packages, you had her acting one week, acting nice the next, and then now it's just like, oh, she's just Bailey. Oh, but now we're getting it back again, like this week on Raw, where she's kind of giving her crap, and like, oh, look, the other side's coming out. But it's like, what are we actually doing?
We didn't see that for like 2 weeks.
They can make it go to the doctor. The doctor could say, well, due to concussions and bumps to the head, this is why she's.
They're not even putting that in there.
No. They're not putting anything in there. They're just having her act like a nut, and I don't get how that fits her persona. I'm pissed off at the WWE right now over this. Pardon my bluntness. I just.
And they're not even in line for a tag team title match right now. They're just tagging. They're just tagging right now, and it's like, I don't know. It is true, and I think there was something said. Like, I don't know if Asuka said something recently. I don't know if she was saying it in character or not, but I think some on the lines of like, she shouldn't take the disrespect of or whatever treatment she's getting from WWE, or shouldn't just accept whatever they're giving her when she deserves so much more. And it's true. It's true.
I think there's a lot of frustration. Like, if you see Asuka has come out and said some things on her channel and stuff like that about being frustrated and stuff like that. So I feel like there's, especially with WWE, as you guys said, they put hints of certain storylines and then it's gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys have all this time on programming week to week, and you guys act like there's no time.
Yeah. And more than 15 people sitting down creating this, and they can't do better with beta than they're doing. I don't get who's really running the show. I mean, we hear it's Triple H, but who on the board besides he is running the show?
Yeah. Well, thanks to WWE Unreal, there are names and faces now.
Amen.
That's a little.
I was shocked to still see the 15 board in place. They had that in the NWA back in the day.
No,
So.
it's just confusing with all the booking we've seen it for months now, where we have certain highs and stuff like that, and then we get all these lows, and it's like, all right, what's happening with these people? Like, okay, we understand this whole storyline with the Vision, but a lot of other stuff is falling through the cracks, and then we see some interest in stuff like we're going to get into it later, like with Maxine Dupree. We get a little things with the tag team division. We're like, okay, we're getting things here and here, but it's like it's just not consistent enough to tell the story.
Right.
But let's keep moving on here to another match there that showcased the future. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee outlast Jevon Evans and Leon Slater in for whatever this match was in terms of highlights and a quick botch by AJ Styles, which I thought was covered up quickly and nicely by Leon Slater. I thought this was a great high impact match. They used the time that they had. But what did you guys think about this whole matchup with TNA's Leon Slater and NXT Jevon Evans taking on the tag champs AJ Styles and Dragon Lee?
Jevon Evans is the most phenomenal person from NXT that they've had in a long, long time. I think he's going to be the next Sting type wrestler. I think he can certainly take the losses at this point because he's climbing that ladder. It's not as big a deal for him as it would be for an AJ Lee or somebody like that. He's building his image right now. So I didn't expect him to walk out as champion. What I expected him was to give us a good match, and that's what he did. And ever since Sami Zayn took him to the main event and showed him the main roster, they've been using him more and more, and I think 2026 is going to be his year. Physically, he's not the most built specimen yet in wrestling. He's just not, but you can tell he's working out. He's a young man. He's in his early 20s, so give him 4 or 5 more years of working out and going to the gym and staying healthy. You're going to see a big dude out of him. I have promoted him up and down every chance I've had since seeing him on NXT, and was impressed when Sammy pulled him to the side and say, "Hey, look, I'm going to give you this shot here." So I think he'll be picking up a lot of W's in 2026. Jevon Evans, watch out for him.
Man, this match was so hot right out the gate. I mean, they went out there. I don't know how much time they got. I mean, it definitely seemed like it was only like 8 or 9 minutes because it just went so fast. I mean, I was hoping that I knew this wasn't going to happen. I was just hoping that like they would get like 20 to 25 minutes to put something together. But obviously because of I guess because of like Peacock time constraints, they couldn't do that. But what they were able to do in the little time that they had, I mean, it definitely showcased all 4 guys, more so Jevon and Leon Slater, and to echo Sonny's sentiments, yeah, big year upcoming for Jevon Evans. I mean, I think this has to be 2026 has to be like the year of Jevon. It just has to be everything that he's done in the tail end of 2025. That needs to be all of 2026. And like I said on Wrestling Spotlight TV, if you're TNA, you have got to figure out a way to make Leon Slater exclusive to just TNA and stop having him compete on NXT in this nature. Because I'm telling you right now, man, that when that deal is up, he's going to WWE. You got to find some way to keep him on TNA and not have it. If you're going to keep the partnership, bring somebody else from TNA to be a part of it. Not him anymore. Because literally, he's the only one. Well, actually, exception. On NXT tonight, Moose made an appearance.
Oh, wow.
It looks like he's going to be feuding with Ethan Page moving forward. I just saw that on NXT. But before that,
just some other breaking news from NXT. Leon Slater is the #1 contender for the NXT title.
I had a feeling he was going to win that fatal 4-way too. There's sharks in the water, man. That man, I'm telling you, Sean is back there right now saying, "Oh, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. He's coming here."
Yeah, no, both these guys are. I mean, they're super hot right now. They're showing more of the world now what they can do. Jevon Evans' moves in the ring are crisp, clean. That super cutter that he does, I think, is amazing.
Off the hook.
Yeah, and the fact that obviously he's in there in the ring with AJ and Dragon Lee, great match. And I mean, yeah, definitely a lot of stuff is going to be coming for them. If they aren't in the mid card this coming year, I mean, it's a shame. Or at least be serious contenders as in the for the NXT title, because they need to have. I mean, at least Jevon. I think character work. Obviously, he probably still needs more work on that. He is young, maybe more life experience or whatever. But just
He's like 24.
yeah, he's pretty young.
I did a commentary on him on Wrestling Spotlight not long ago.
Yeah, so character-wise, yes, he's still fresh, young, but his work is great, and he has that personality, that babyface underdog, kind of like mentioned the kind of like a Sami Zayn, so it should be easy babyface to carry up for a while, so.
Doesn't need much. I don't think he needs much. Let his wrestling carry it. I think I saw something that he spoke in an interview, and he was like, the biggest thing he's trying to do now is just connect to the fans.
Yeah,
his promos and stuff like that.
So
it's not, and I feel like it's just again. I said it when he's on NXT, that he just brings this youthful enthusiasm to the screen, so it's easy to be drawn towards him. And his moveset in the ring and stuff like that. And again, I saw him at NXT Heatwave, and I'm like, him and Oba Femi, I'm like, these guys are fantastic. I can't speak highly about those guys. Like, they're just great. I thought it was a great match. AJ Styles messed up on the phenomenal forearm. Leon Slater went straight for the pin. Like in other matches and stuff like that with other guys, we've seen them look at the ref or look and say he's okay and stuff. Leon Slater went straight to a pin to cover up the botch, and I thought that was great by him. And again, that was on the main stage of WWE. Everyone saw that. So it's like, he's definitely going to get picked up by WWE once that contract is over.
Hold on to him for dear life.
TNA,
hold on to him for dear life.
Hey, Dan, I'm saying with a little more work in NXT, I think Trigger Williams will probably get picked up too next few months.
Yeah, all those guys are going to get picked up. Leon Slater's 21 years old. And to sit there and see a move like that happen and take initiative and be like, all right, let me cover up this. I thought like that high IQ at 21, like that's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if they're thinking about it from the standpoint of, okay, Jevon is hot, and we might be moving him to the main roster, and if we move him, we kind of need someone to kind of fill in that void. And Leon Slater is pretty much the same. Leon Slater is the TNA, what Jevon is the NXT. So I wonder if they're thinking like, okay, if we get him, he can fill in the void that Jevon left. If they're thinking that Jevon is main roster ready.
I think you're right on with that, Brian. I think that's exactly what the guys are thinking in the front office.
Why can't I find it here? But yeah, I think it's just seamless. It's a seamless fit, right? I would even like to see Jevon Evans in NXT as the champion and stuff like that. But if they're not going to give him that pathway and he goes to the main roster, I'm fine with that too. I feel like those guys are so talented, and I was impressed by the guys on Saturday night's main event. I thought it was a good show, top to bottom, and it was just awesome. I thought it was a good showing for everybody involved. I don't know if it brought more eyes to TNA or NXT, but those guys had a great showing for sure. Let's move on to the Monday Night Raw side of things here. The Masked Man has been revealed. And it's Austin Theory. What did you guys think of the main reveal here? At least one of the reveals we think it is. What did you guys make of that reveal?
Where's Montez Ford?
Oh man.
I kind of had this spoiled for me because I was watching Raw afterwards, didn't get to finish it, and obviously there's things I follow, so boom, it was like, oh, the Masked Man's revealed, and they showed the photo, and I was like, great.
Can't hide from the spoilers, Lewis.
I mean, I know. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not mad at it. Hopefully, this is good things for Austin Theory. I mean, I hope it's something different because we've seen him as a heel. I hope it's a different attitude. I hope it's maybe even like a new wrestling style. I don't know. I just hope. I mean, with his new look, it looks good. I mean, I like the shaved downwards. Kind of remind me a little bit of John Moxley, honestly. But
A little bit.
I hope. I don't know. I don't know what the story is. Is he aligned with Paul Heyman? Is he just trying to make a statement? Is somebody else pushing him? Who knows? I just hope this is not a waste. And I mean, like we were talking about recently, how long Austin Theory has been in the WWE, and
Sonny brought that
hopefully
up.
this is his time. So we'll see.
I was pissed. I'm going to say that because I felt like it was too early. That's my biggest thing. Like, there was no meat on the bone with this. It was what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
And the fact that Adam Pearce was just like, I want to see who this is, and then without a batting of the eyes, he just revealed himself.
And on top of that, it was during a match with Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Of all times.
I don't know. I wanted
Adam Pearce needed an answer. All right, so
Austin Theory gave it to him. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Here's my response. Listen to the crowd when he takes the mask off. Nobody gave two shits that was Austin Theory. This is exactly what I was talking about last week on Wrestling Spotlight. Why I preferred Montez over Austin Theory. Because at least with Montez being a heel, that's a dynamic that nobody had seen before. And at least it would have been interesting. It would have been intriguing. It would have made you tune in next week to see, wow, what does Montez Ford as a heel look like? We've been through this heel experience with Austin Theory before. With Vince McMahon with Grayson Waller, we've seen Austin Theory as a heel, and I don't give a fuck about the new look. You said he looked like Moxley. To me, he looked like Daniel Garcia. That's what he looked like.
I thought it was for a brief second, to be honest with you. It wasn't a surprise to me at all.
Yeah, now they got a couple of weeks to at least make something out of this. At least, because right now I'm looking at this guy and I'm saying, what's the difference between him now and him a couple months ago when he was with Grayson Waller? Like besides the look, what's the difference?
He's not going to be a cocky heel anymore, Brian. He's going to be a serious heel.
Well, they need to tell that in these coming weeks. They need to make that abundantly clear. They need to make him more vicious. Need to add some type of dynamic to his character that makes him unique. They have to do something because we're going to get the same fucking Austin Theory that we've gotten in the last year or two. Then this is going to be another case of Triple H wetting the bed again. Because like Daniel just said, they really could have waited for this. They could have revealed this on the first Netflix.
Yes, that's what I thought it was going to be.
They could have waited.
Honestly, that probably would have made more sense. But so this is a quick question. This is why I was saying, would it have been more intriguing to had it been revealed that Monday after War Games, after Survivor Series?
The way they played it, so the two things. They could have revealed it that night at Survivor Series. They could have revealed it that night on Monday Night Raw the night after. And they chose to not to. So I'm like, okay. And then we got the announcement of Braun Breaker taking on CM Punk on January 5th. So I'm thinking, okay, he's going to be revealed. He's going to help Braun Breaker win the title on January 5th. And that's going to ascend Braun Breaker and ascend this group. And then just basically set it all up. And they didn't do that. I don't know. Go ahead, Sonny. Sorry. I don't know. I can't.
Well, a couple of things. Gerald and I were talking about this earlier tonight on Wrestling Spotlight, and Gerald pointed out something that made a little sense in the story planning. He said that occasionally Gerald's right on the money with his angles. He said he thought that there was at least one more person to be unmasked in this, that we weren't through seeing people being unmasked. And he said he believed that Seth Rollins was creating his own alliance now with these masked people coming in. And this was going to be his newest group when he comes back and is well enough to wrestle again. I went along with that. That makes sound sense to me. But did anyone notice Paul Heyman in the locker room saying to his guys, "I don't care if the masked man does help us tonight. We need the help." And out came the masked man, and I thought Paul's in this somehow. I thought Paul's already talking. So,
I feel like because there have been rumors of being there two people, how they have different heights and stuff like that, different physiques,
different heights, different sizes.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I can understand that, like the whole Black Scorpion back in the day with Flair and stuff like that.
Flair, yes. And then it turned out to be Flair.
We saw this with Grande Americano and that whole storyline and stuff like that with the multiple people underneath the mask. Made an appearance on Monday Night Raw as well. But 5'6"
to 6'2".
I just hope whatever they're doing, that it pays off, especially for Austin Theory. Again, I've been a fan of that guy for a long time, and I'm just waiting for this break to happen. I don't know if it's the stench of that whole Vince McMahon storyline, and then the whole freaking cashing in on a mid-card title.
Don't bring that up.
And one thing about Vince McMahon, everybody, they said that Miss McMahon showed up at John Cena's final match to tell him goodbye for the last time as a wrestler. Vince wasn't allowed to show up because rumors are circulating that he and the Mrs. may be divorcing. But if this is from the Vince McMahon era, I've been saying this for a year now, Vince may still have his big toe in the door there somehow. And unless Vince dies all of a sudden in real life, to me, Vince will always have a little say in what goes on up there.
Oh, man.
I hope that's not the case. I really hope not.
I think we're all in agreement that we don't want that to happen. Yeah, but if it is, oh my God. But yeah, it just seems like Austin Theory can't shake that stench from that whole Vince McMahon thing. But the whole thing for me is that the way and then again, just looking at the grand scheme of things of this, if there is another masked man, he's just another guy in the background of this group.
That's all.
Like that's not what I want for him.
What do you think about Paul Heyman being in charge of it?
I mean,
Paul sure did talk him up.
Paul Heyman has been pulling strings in terms of we saw him work with Roman, we saw him work with CM Punk for a moment that night at WrestleMania. Then he's working with Seth, and then all these strings, and then Seth's injury happens, and then they take him out, and he's kind of on the side with Braun Breaker. And it's like we've seen Paul throughout his whole career, all the way back to the World Championship Wrestling, him pull these strings and stuff like that. So he's been a puppeteer for a long time. He's definitely going to have some say or impact into it. It will be interesting to see if this is a different type of thing where Austin Theory's just pissed at everybody. This is my thinking of it. If he's just pissed at everybody and then he just starts screwing everybody over.
That's what I'm hoping.
To get position in the company, to get established. That's what I'm hoping for, because I don't want him to just be another guy in the background. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. But let's keep moving on here with that reveal. Let's keep moving on to Gunther cutting a hell of a promo. Coming off the heels of his retiring of John Cena. Coming out, had some choice words for the Cena Nation and a lot of people. But what do you guys think about Gunther's promo on Monday Night Raw?
I loved it. Yeah. I've been watching Gunther for a while now, at least a good year. I haven't understood why they haven't given him more time on the mic. His matches speak out in volumes. You can tell he's an educated man. You can tell he's a worldly man by the way he speaks. He's probably the greatest heel the WWE has produced in the last 5 to 7 years, guys, in my opinion. Nobody can touch him. He's red hot right now. And I love his John Cena wave. I think that's the greatest thing since sliced bread that he's doing that. and I like John Cena, but I like him in some of his movies. That's to take nothing away. It's just the way they're playing off of each other. That hey, I'm here, and I did this, and I said I was going to do it, and I'm the young buck now. So that's or the younger buck, and that's kind of the way they're playing it. But he's in phenomenal shape, and Gunther can go all night long.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean that crowd reaction. I mean, from the moment his music
was amazing.
Like, you know, that nobody wanted any parts of Gunther, and like if that was the goal with what John Cena wanted to do and tapping out, then goal accomplished, because now he's a mega heel, and now to have that on your resume that you tapped out John Cena. I mean, it's the equivalent of ending the Undertaker's undefeated streak. I mean, and now what they do with that moving forward, I mean, is anybody's guess. I mean, you definitely have to keep him strong. Keep Gunther strong at all costs now, because he's your top heel. But the promo in of itself, I mean, like I said, like Sonny mentioned, the whole "you can't see me" when he was leaving. I mean, that was calling John Cena a little bitch made him tap out. Like,
I love that.
Even when he said that, even I got a little triggered by it when he said that.
Nobody's done John that way. So I got one more thing to add. I did a tweet on X that where I compared the fanfare shock guys to Bruno Sammartino losing to the man who trained me later in life, Ivan the Russian Barakolov. I had 728 views in a day. That's been my biggest tweet on X in quite a while. In a day, I had 500 views in like 30 minutes after the match. So people paying attention.
Yeah, like I think it's just a step in the right direction for Gunther. And again, it was a notch in his belt that he needed to go forward, because especially after tapping out to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, losing the title to CM Punk at SummerSlam, he needed something to establish himself back into the world of wrestling, right? And this tournament really gave him that push in the back. And then the win over John Cena elevated him into just another level. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're doing forward. But what did you think about it, Lewis?
I thought it was great, short and sweet. Obviously, just had to go out there, antagonize the damn crowd. You know, John Cena's everyone's hero. Go out there and be like, I beat the shit out of him. He's my bitch. Man, you know, so. But what I think I am ready for, and I mean, probably coming down the line, I think he should go to SmackDown. I think he should be going after Cody at this point. You know, he's already had a run with the world title. A run with the WWE title is just going to solidify him even more as a top heel. And I think he's actually a great heel to go against Cody right now. Because, again, all we've been getting is him and Drew for like the past 4 months, and it's like, what are we waiting for? What are we gonna see? Who is actually, or are we just pausing all this for Roman, and so that can be done again at WrestleMania? You know, so it's crazy to see that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's still too early on, but like, it's like I feel like I'm not seeing what is coming towards WrestleMania this year, you know, like there's no inkling, there's no like, I think a lot of us are also ready for Cody to lose the title, and it's just like, you know, what is next? And Gunther is definitely next, but he needs to be put in on the right title, and I think it's time for a WWE title one.
For sure. They've been kind of teasing that a little bit, right? Because didn't they fight in the finals at Crown Jewel? They've had that interaction with was it Crown Jewel? What was it? What was it?
King of the Ring?
Was it King of the Ring?
No, he didn't fight Cody, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh no! It was wait a minute. It was Crown Jewel. It was for the it was when they were both world champions fighting for that crown.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's
the
what
last Crown Jewel championship.
Yeah, so they had those moments in the Royal Rumble multiple times. It's like that's been there, and it's been an easy storyline. I don't know why they haven't tapped into it. As Gunther kind of being this foreigner, going up against the white meat babyface from America. I don't know why they just don't play into that and just showing that story. It's an easy storyline they can play on, but they haven't done it.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I agree. I think Gunther needs to change his scenery. I just think with the whole close to being WrestleMania thing, they wouldn't do it, especially after not putting the title on Drew and stuff like that. And they haven't really done anything to shake up anything with Cody's run.
No,
It's kind of just like he's been on standby for WrestleMania 42. That's what it looks like.
And it makes him, and to me, it makes him look like a paper champion at this point because he had 4 or 5 good fights earlier in the year. We all thought he was going to be a fighting champion, and now he's like a puppet, just waiting to be told what to do and who to do it against.
And kind of in a sense, he's been pulled into war games. He's fighting these mind games with Drew McIntyre. It's like he doesn't really have a control of anything as a champion right now. And it's
nothing.
Like, it's looking bad, but hopefully they're able to shake it up heading into the Rumble. But I think Gunther, he's just really established himself as the top heel. I don't think there's anybody above him right now on that end. Let's keep moving.
In 2026, Cody will cross over to Paul Heyman. I think there's too much chatter between the two.
Wow.
And I think that's going to be Cody's next big step. Is to join Paul.
Well, I did predict last week that Cody was definitely turning heel, but I don't think that. I actually don't think Paul Heyman is going to be the catalyst for it.
It's going to be Don Callis.
I'll wager a coffee over it, Brian.
We can do that.
All right, coffee in the mouth.
I have a scenario in my mind of how I'm thinking if they do go to a certain direction. Scenario with Cody.
It's Triple H. Triple H is like, to hell with everybody hating me.
He's going to come back as the authority again.
Cody's death is not taking anything from him. I just think he has. I think his frustration is like Beta. He just has no control over his character right now, and I think it's killing him.
Yeah, if they end up going in the direction of having Roman and Cody 3. Then I think that's when I think you kind of have to pull the trigger on a heel turn if they go in that direction.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. But who do you think is the catalyst, Brian? If it was a heel turn,
if there was a heel turn, see, I hate that. I really hate to say this because we've been down this path before.
Brace yourself then.
But why do I just feel like with WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia after next year, and with how much money they're paying for this event, they're paying 9 figures for WrestleMania over there, and you already know the people of Saudi Arabia, they want their nostalgia. They want their nostalgia. So where are they gonna get their nostalgia from?
He finally sells his soul to The Rock.
I mean, that's the story that's the story that man on the board of TKO wanted. But
it would make sense if he's going up against Roman.
That's what I'm saying. If he goes up against Roman at WrestleMania, that's the perfect catalyst.
Roman, you couldn't get it done.
Right, that's pretty good, man.
That's
tell the ending to that, Louis. I mean, they just dragged it out there.
But again, that is a great story in itself. But I'm sorry, this John Cena heel turn leaves me no faith. He'd come out, we'd be in shock, and then we'd never see him again. So I don't want that.
Hey, his schedule for WrestleMania 41 was his schedule for 42 is open.
If the goal is a match in Saudi Arabia, I think we'll clear up some time.
Oh man. That's a great point. I like you guys both ideas of Paul Heyman on one side, maybe The Rock pulling the strings. We'll see what happens there. But let's keep moving into Raw here, finish up the show. Maxine Dupree retains her title against Ivy Nile. What did you guys think about her transformation in the ring after training with Natalya and picking up a win there?
Man, she gets better and better and better. I mean, you can make the case that going into 2026, she might end up being the breakout female star of 2026. The way things are looking right now. I mean, as she continues to improve and they keep showing these promo packages with her and Natty, which have been the highlight the last couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw. I mean, it's definitely a complete 180 from where Maxine was like months ago when the year started. I think
one issue I had with it, I don't like the hulking up type thing. I don't her character. I don't. That's the one thing I don't like. Don't do the hulk up. Like I don't like that. I understand they do the slaps in the promos. Leave that to Natty and her promos. That's my only. Other than that, I think it's great. That's it.
Yeah, same. She's improving. She's getting better. She's looking like a champion. Hopefully, she keeps it going for a bit. I'm curious to see who will dethrone her at some point. And honestly, let's keep the momentum going. Give her multiple defenses. Get more people in front of her. Don't just have Ivy now fight her like 5 times and then think it's a great title run. You know, let's actually get some other people going after the IC title. You know.
What did you think about Maxine Dupree, Sonny?
I liked it. I understood the outcome of it. I like the competitiveness of it. I like more of the actual grappling now that's going on, fellas, rather than a whole lot of storytelling, short matches, and nothing of real length or substance. Now we're getting into more substance. I wish that the WWE creatives would scale back a little more on the storytelling and continue to focus on the wrestling side of things. That's what I miss so much about on the road independent cards. You just have a heel and a baby, and they go at it. They come out opposite doors. There is no year-long story to it. The fans don't have to have that to enjoy the fight. So I wish they would lean back a little bit on some of the storytelling and that the athletes wrestle and not shifted gears here, but that's what's making AEW so good right now. They're not telling as much story. They're focusing in on the wrestling, and that's why fans are going. They like the wrestling. So,
yep, I agree in that regard, especially for the IC title, just to build that up. Kind of similar to what they're doing on the side with the US title for the men, where they're just having these open challenges and just having them wrestle.
Loving that.
I think that's something that they can do for a lot of all the mid-card titles. Let's keep moving on here. We got the Kabuki Warriors before that match taking out Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Looks like they're setting up for another clash again. Hopefully they continue to build the tag team division. That's my biggest thing with that. The Usos are a tag team again, defeating the New Day. Is this the end of the New Day here, guys? Do you look at all that?
Who knows what they're doing with them at this point? So I don't know. I still don't understand the Grayson Waller part of it. Still doesn't make any sense why he's there. And if they, once they added him, they should have maybe have them win a bit, with him being there. But that's
at least help them. What is the use of him if he's not helping them win
at all? So
his injury doesn't have anything to do with that. That whole hat thing when they were fighting over that. It has nothing to do with that. Like, he's been nothing. I don't understand. I don't know. Him and Austin Theory. I don't know why they get booked that way. I don't know why.
And like I said, after listening to his interview with Chris Van Vliet, like, I actually had more respect for Grayson Waller. I'm like, he's very passionate about wrestling. He just wants a shot, and this is not the shot that he needs right now. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm definitely of the. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that I'm not against just the New Day becoming baby faces again, because I just feel like this heel run has been complete waste. I mean, they won the tag team titles at WrestleMania, and that's literally just been the highlight of their run. I mean, since they lost the tag team titles, I mean, there hasn't been any real character progression. They used Big E in the beginning to become heels, which was very very smart. But now that it seems as though we're not going to get Big E back in the ring anymore. It's just like what is so important about this heel turn now? Because in the back of my mind, it was always just that hope that Big E would be cleared from the neck injury, and then they could tell a little bit more story now with Big E being physically involved. But now that that's not the case, and you haven't been putting any progression behind the characters, you might as well just go back to them being baby faces again and just have them be that happy-go-lucky tag team that has great matches and that the crowd loves. I mean, I'm pretty sure they would like those merchandise checks again.
The pancakes and the horns.
Yeah, all that stuff, all T-shirts and all that money and everything. Everything, they had to let all that go once they turned.
That's right.
Oh man! But what do you guys think about finally? Let's talk about the Nikki Bella causing the DQ in the women's world title match. I did not see that coming.
Damn, Dana, this is all your fucking fault. I'm glad we're talking about this. This is your fucking fault.
My God,
what did I do?
Well,
it is your fault.
Because you just had to give that hope in that match that she had with Stephanie Baker, talking about the fact that it's her last run and that we're going to see a lot more of Nikki Bella moving forward. I really thought after that match and the way that it ended that run was done, and then we weren't going to
your fault.
To probably the women's Royal Rumble.
I'm not going to do all that.
It just keeps reappearing at the wrong time. Like, we don't need Nikki Bella right now.
The issue is her sister hasn't shown up yet. And I think that's what they're playing at. And I think that's what they're going to get to at some point. Do I want that to happen? No. I think it would have made more sense if she won the title, that she helped her win the title. That would make sense. But right now, I don't know. Because it's like the match was good between Stephanie and Raquel. It was a good match.
Exactly.
Match.
It was great. And
it got derailed by another DQ finish. WWE has been hitting with these DQ finishes lately. But and then Raquel had a big knot on her head afterwards. That was crazy.
Really? I didn't see that.
Yeah. So it was like an exclusive video that they showed. Yeah,
there's a video of her just going off on Nikki Bella and it's a pretty noticeable. It's very noticeable. Like when you see it, like it's crazy. But again, Nikki Bella. Again, I already suggested move her down to the mid card. She does not need to be in the main event anymore. But apparently, they still think that she has that damn value, and it's like,
you want to know what? It's your fault because you spoke of her value when she came back. It's your fault.
Business.
It's not my fault.
I was not talking about titles though. That's the thing. I wasn't talking about titles. I was talking about outside of the ring, the Bella brand. I was not talking about championships and titles and such.
Let's just agree it's both of you guys' fault, all right?
I'm not willing to say that. But it's just crazy with the booking, because it's like, again, there's these highs and then there's these lows. Like we see the benefits of Gunther. Right, and then it's just all these other things like Austin Theory's revealed not hitting. Them trying to figure out this world title picture with Stephanie back here. I don't know. I'm hoping that we get to the Rumble and everything makes sense again. And I think WWE has been kind of waiting for that, waiting for the Rumble, waiting for WrestleMania 42. They're already thinking about down the line. And this in between stuff, they're not really paying too much attention to. So
yeah.
Hopefully it changes up. Hopefully they pick it up in a couple weeks here. But yeah, I don't know. But you can catch our episode with Wrestling Spotlight with Gerald Bentley and Sonny the Man Eagle Cain. We recently made an appearance there. Sonny the Man Eagle Cain made an appearance on the Wrestling Pedigree podcast with Maddie Hawkins. Please check that out. That's up on YouTube as well. You can catch Ring Takes on Instagram and on the Soapbox Network. So please check that out as well. That's a wrap from us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X. Trying to think of anything else. But no, I don't think we have anything else. Again, check out Wrestling Spotlight with Joe Bentley and Sonny Man Eagle Cain. Sonny, as always, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna pick it up sometime, probably in the new year, I'm thinking, but we'll see. We'll keep people posted. But remember, people, always kick that on too. And until next time.
1, 2, 3.
Thanks for joining.